Stock market closing: Sensex falls 139 points, Nifty at 24,812 IT, metal drag Sensex today. Indian benchmark indices, Sensex and Nifty, ended lower but managed to recover from intraday lows on Tuesday, supported by gains in auto and private bank stocks. The Sensex touched a low of 81,237 during the session before closing at 81,444.66, down 138.64 points or 0.17. The Nifty 50 slipped 41.35 points or 0.17 to settle at 24,812.05. Broader markets remained under pressure, with the Nifty Midcap 100 and Nifty Small Cap 100 indices declining 0.46 and 0.23, respectively. Sectorally, Nifty Media was the worst performer, falling 1.27, followed by losses in IT, metal, oil gas, realty, energy, PSU Bank, and FMCG indices. However, Nifty consumer durables, auto, and bank indices closed in the green. Among the Sensex components, 20 out of 30 stocks ended in the red. TCS, Adani Ports, Hindustan Unilever, Nestle India, Bajaj Finserv, and NTPC fell up to 1.6. On the gaining side, IndusInd Bank, Titan, Mahindra, Maruti Suzuki, Asian Paints, and Bharti Airtel rose up to 4.4. Meanwhile, India VIX, the volatility index, slipped 0.89 to settle at 14.27, indicating a slight easing in market uncertainty. Global cues: Asia-Pacific markets showed a mixed trend on Wednesday, largely due to rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Investor sentiment took a hit after reports suggested that U.S. President Donald Trump may consider a military strike on Iran. Trump also posted a call for Iran's unconditional surrender on Truth Social, stoking fears of further U.S. involvement in the Israel-Iran conflict. Among key indices, Japan's Nikkei recovered to trade 0.14% higher after an initial dip, while the broader topics rose 0.15%. South Korea's Kospi also gained 0.46%. However, Australia's ASX 200 slipped 0.2%, bucking the broader regional trend. Japan's exports fell 1.7% year-on-year in May, a smaller decline than the anticipated 3.8%, suggesting global trade pressures persist. The Bank of Japan warned of potential moderation in economic growth due to waning overseas demand and declining corporate profits. Still, the central bank held its key short-term interest rate steady at 0.5% in its June meeting, aligning with market expectations and maintaining the highest level since 2008. Swipe left for next video. In the US, stock futures were slightly lower ahead of the Federal Reserve's highly anticipated policy announcement. Wall Street closed lower on Tuesday, with the Dow Jones falling 0.70%, the S&P 500 losing 0.84%, and the Nasdaq Composite declining 0.91%. Additionally, market participants will be closely watching U.S. weekly jobless claims, and inflation data from the Eurozone and the UK for May, as they could further shape investor expectations around global monetary policy. Latest blogs.